What is going on, everyone? This is Alex again with Boss Crypto. Today we are going to be talking about the basics of a trend. Okay? Hopefully you guys have had some time to look at some charts, get familiar with candles. If you guys haven't learned what a candlestick is, you should check out our video on candlesticks because that is going to be a necessity with charting, with making money using technical analysis. Okay? So definitely check that out before this one if you haven't. All right, so let's hop into this. What are the basics of a trend? So we have two kinds of trends, uptrends and downtrends. And then, of course, the in-between stages, which may just be known as sideways or consolidation or accumulation, all different kinds of terminology there. But an uptrend is typically defined as higher highs in price and higher lows in price, right? As we can see, this asset is going up, right? Price is increasing. And then a downtrend is defined as an asset making lower lows and lower highs, right? This is making lower lows and lower highs. That makes sense? Okay, and the trend is your trend, right? We want to know whether we're in an uptrend or a downtrend because we want to trade with the trend. Now, we don't always have to do it, but when you do trade with the trend, you are going to win more of your trades. You're going to have better win rates, you're going to be more confident, and you're just going to have better runs, right? As you can see by Bitcoin USD here, right? This coin was in an uptrend really since, this coin, if we look at the weekly, this coin is in a long-term bull market. It is in a long-term uptrend, right? This asset is making nothing but higher highs and higher lows since its inception. Now, it's possible at some point that this stops. It doesn't have to go on forever necessarily, but until it does, the long-term uptrend is intact, and I want to be long this asset in the long term. Until this series of higher highs and higher lows is broken, which really will not be broken until we break this level. Until that happens, I want to be looking for longs of this asset in the long run, right? I'm going to always have a position in this of some sort, even if it's just a very small one, until that level is broken, right? And then on the daily, right, every time frame can have a different trend. Right, so on the weekly, we're in a long-term bull market always. But at times, like on the daily, you can see this asset was making higher lows and higher highs. But then it made a low that was broken right here. So now, in the intermediate term, this asset's making lower highs and lower lows. So this can get a little confusing, guys, which is why it's always important to know your time frame and know your trend, okay? So we might have a weekly bull market, a weekly uptrend, but you might have an intermediate term downtrend, and then inside this intermediate term downtrend, you have short-term uptrends, right? But you can see how in this intermediate term downtrend, more money was made and the bigger moves were on the downside than on the upside, right? Just like in a bull market, more money was made on the upside than on the downside. And that's why, like I was saying, you want to trade with your trend, right? You're uptrending, so you want to be long this asset, right? So much more money was made long than if you tried to play short at any point in here. And it doesn't mean you can't, right? You could have made money on these down moves. You could have made money on this short-term downtrend. Same with this short-term downtrend. But you were trying to make money on a short-term downtrend without prepping to long this long-term uptrend. And in this case, this intermediate-term uptrend as well, right? You weren't just in a long-term bull market, but you were making higher highs and higher lows in the short term as well. So the most money is going to be made And your highest win rates will be when you trade with the trend. Okay? Now, this asset, Bitcoin USD, is making lower highs. It's in an intermediate term bear market. But it's not making lower lows, right? In the intermediate term, it was until February. But price has actually been holding this level since February, right? So you've got lower highs, but now you've got higher lows in the short term, right? So price is getting really tight in here where you have this intermediate term down market, but you're in a long-term bull market. So you know at some point it's likely buyers will come in, whether that's in this region to take it up or whether that's after it breaks down and consolidates further, right? We still want to be long and looking for longs anywhere in front of here, right? Now, this is an incredibly wide range. You'd be down 90-something% if you held all the way. So I'm not saying you hold all the way down, right? I'll keep some Bitcoin until it's dead or until it breaks this level, which really would have to be dead to do that. Yeah, I will be long this asset as long as this level holds, and then short into the lower highs until they break. And then once they do, we will now have higher lows and higher highs. Likewise, if it breaks to the downside, you will now have lower highs and lower lows, right? So that would be short worthy, right? You'd be willing to bet against the asset in the intermediate term to make more money until it's cheaper so you can bet on it again in the long term, right? I'm going to have to mute myself while I sneeze here. Ooh, sorry about that one. All right, so I hope that's making sense and you can see how different time frames can have different trends. But if you trade with the trend, you will be right more often than not. And I would also recommend having separate accounts for your long-term investments, for your intermediate-term swing trades, and for your lower time frame day trades, right? It's going to help a lot to have those separated into different accounts so you don't get confused when you have some Bitcoin on one section that's long for the long term, and then you're short Bitcoin in the intermediate term, but you're also long Bitcoin in this day trade while you're in a short-term uptrend, right? If you don't want to get confused, keep them in separate accounts. All right, that's going to be all from this one, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.